Hello all. Oh, we're on. Friday the 11th, 21:31. We are in the dark. Can we get an audio sound check for the man himself? Can you hear me? What? Hello. All is well. Had a bit of a surprise week. The princess has been off. She's being nursed. The Queen, she's well. I've been looking at voluntary servitude. Sprucing up my CV. There we go, I can see we're on. We have sound. I hear the fan. What? Moscow? Hello. What? Mic's not on, alright. Hello? It's on the phone 1 minute, then I see the problem. I hope it's worth the wait. Hello, subscribers, subscribes. What a shambles. Hello. Right, this is terrible. Scribes, we're going to have to recast. Super chat, what in the world now? Much love to you. Let me turn this down. What I was intending on doing, thank you my fam, all of you, I have a preview scheduled of my work, of what I've done over the last 4 days. So I've got a self-initiate's guide here queued up that I was going to read to you and we was going to zoom in a bit like this. Yeah, and I was going to give you a little snippet, a little preview of what I've been writing. So I'm going to try and work out how I can recast and get to you, give you an update, what's happened this week, where we're at, and what I intend on doing. So nothing ever goes right, does it? I'll have a go at checking the audio, the mic. I would have done this on a Hangout. I need to sort my casting podcast format out, so I will give you a quick update though while we're here, so I've not wasted your time, and I see it's quite busy, so I'll go this way so you got something to look at. Yes, what's happened is I've been asked at the seminar we had Birmingham to look at putting a document together to explain to ones like yourselves what the positions, titles and benefits, if any, are in these various irrevocable, revocable trusts. They want to obtain a king standing position in law. So whilst I'm in between lines, and I received an email this week while I was composing these 28,000 words across 100 pages. I got an email from that supermarket that's European. There's a couple of them over here, and they declined my person's application to join them on the till to scan you know, products. I'm not saying I'm above that, but whilst I was writing this and comprising it, composing it, commissioning it, putting it a bit like, I don't know here, Fantasia was going off in the realm. So I've put a pack together, and it is 100 pages. Now you might think, Dave, that's too much straight away. I'm already not interested, pal. Well, you had a book and it was 100 pages. As I said to these two that would come to the seminar, you know, it's not the biggest of books. So when you consider what it can offer you, what the benefits are, you know, I've got a lot of text here on the screen. I'll just scroll down so it's not a wasted cast. You know, introduction. We proudly present our layman or self-initiate's guide to overstanding and creating a living trust, deed, and many more. Irrevocable and revocable trusts, obtaining a king's standing position in law. And this pack contains your very own revocable living trust, a last will and testament, and a irrevocable private trust deed. So it's new trust technology handed down to us from the Romans. It's now being utilised by many mans, ourselves, for you know, various reasons really. There's lots of reasons, types of trusts, and you know, trusts can be benefit from certain, you know, type of investment funds and that are put to them with employer identification numbers or tax and numbers and so forth. You might not be able to stay on this landmass, and you might want to look after your assets and property, so you may set up a trust while you're away to fund your fam, so you know they're looked after. You might want to do a testamentary trust. You might want to do revocable, irrevocable. You know, these have benefits. Protection from creditors is one that I'm getting asked. So how do you protect what type of trust? So this is, you know, not exclusive. It's comprised by me, and you know, I start off with the introduction of a private or revocable living trust. They are private standard, but I've got a habit of putting that. A living revocable trust provides a way for one to transfer property, i.e. after one's death, while avoiding the time and expense of probate, as in with wills. These can take quite a long time, and solicitors make money from probate. One still requires a will for some things, you know, such as naming a guardian for your minor assets, children. You know, living trust can save time and money for your beneficiaries. Living trusts typically are revocable, meaning one can change them however one wants, whilst, you know, one is still alive. The process is relatively simple, and in most cases one doesn't need to hire an attorney to make a living trust. And I've written Let Us Take a Trip, part 1, and we're on like page 1 or 2, I think we are here, yeah, straight at the beginning. How to construct a trust. 1. Determine what type of trust one wants to create. I'll skim. Number 2. Make a list of your assets. That's here, where I'm at. 3. Gather paperwork for your assets. 4. Decide who will inherit your trust property. 5. Choose a successor trustee. Yeah, part 2. Drafting your trust documents. There's considerations and things there for you. Number 2, search for forms or templates, as is your wish or requirement. If one wants to draft your own trust documents yourself, you should be able to find you know, the templates, the samples, living trusts, things on the internet like we all have done. Name and identify the trust. There's that bit there. Number 4, establish the identity, responsibility of the trustee and successor trustee. 5, list the beneficiaries of the trust. Number 6, create a schedule of your property. Part 3, executing your trust. Sign your trust. Typically one must sign your declaration of trust in the presence of a witness, notary public previously, commissioner of oaths, vicar. You know, that's dependable. I've written about notary publics and commissioners of oaths. Record or file your trust documents as necessary. Number 3, transfer title in your trust property, and there's some stipulations there and breakdowns. Number 4, apply for, this isn't for everybody, but employer identification number, EIN, TIN, etc. Through the tax and inland revenue services is explanatory. text there, and then we have some further information and guidance, splspro.com, revocable living trust forms. There are other trusts in this form. This bit is just about a living trust. A revocable living trust is created by an individual, who, bear with me, you know, we're speaking at ease here, soldiers, the settlor, grantor, for the purpose of holding their assets and property, and in order to dictate how said assets and property will be distributed upon the settler, grantor's death. The settler maintains ownership over their assets, and they can make alterations to the document or choose to revoke the trust at any point in their lifetime. The settlor may appoint themselves trustee, manager of the trust, but must also appoint a successor trustee in case they become incapacitated or in the event of their death. Once the settlor grantor dies, a revocable trust becomes irrevocable, and the trustee or successor trustee will distribute assets within the trust to the beneficiaries as per the settlor's instructions. Both revocable and irrevocable trusts bypass the probate process, but a revocable trust does not protect from estate taxes. Certain little bits there, revocable versus irrevocable, about altered and taxes. As nouns, okay, word up, scribes, pens down, remember this moment, take note please. As nouns, the difference between settlor and grantor are that a grantor is label, a person who grants something. A settlor is legal, a person who settles property on express trust for the benefit of beneficiaries. The person given the assets is usually known as the settlor. I've put in the UK, or a grantor in the US, but can also sometimes be called the trustor or the creator. The people asked to look after the assets, property, are called the trustees, and those who benefit from the trust are called the beneficiaries. The details of the arrangement are usually laid out in a trust deed, and the assets or property placed in the trust are the trust fund. And then I've got private living revocable trusts, how to write one. So I really have gone on to page 6 of 100, all right? So this is just a little preview, bite-sized chunk for you, and then we'll have a look at your comments, all right? How to write one. Step 1, download the generic editable trust forms at splspro.com. Not yet completed. Step 2, the first page of the trust document must have the settlor name at the top of the page with the date of creation below it. Next, the names and addresses of both the settlor and the trustee must be entered. Under Article 1, create a name for the trust and check the box that applies to the type of document being created. Amended, or is it a new document? And next, we got some visuals to show you about how to fill in the form. These are all here, steps by steps. Okay, I'm just going to skim this because it's boring and it's just forms and words and going through. So we'll just look at it. All right, then we've got what does that say? Enjoy the discovery. Feel free to independently research and gain further external information and clarification. David. And then we got, this is something that was sent to me on a WhatsApp some time ago that's been itching to be brought out. Okay, Maine Republic email alert. I believe when I was looking through Anna Von Wright's report blog about the list of who to trust and her writings there, I remember this being somewhere that I saved from, I think, an article, Maine, area itself. Retired judge spills the beans by Judge Dale. Stuff you're not supposed to know. This has got stuff about Menta, Cesta, K. No, all tradable securities must be assigned a CUSIP number before they can be offered to investors. Birth certificates and social security applications are converted into government securities, assigned CUSIP numbers, grouped into lots, and then are marketed as mutual fund investments. Upon maturity, the profits are moved into government Cesta K trusts, and if you are still alive, the certified documents are reinvested. This is just conjecture. A lot of it is, plausible deniability until substance, is been put there into. So I don't stand here saying this is just been a long time in the making. It's 100 pages. It's a focused input from your man, Speedy, Gonzalez, aka David. So corporate processes, legal process, contracts, pseudo courts, settle contract disputes, and since George Washington, it's American obviously, so we leave it in because a lot of it is quite relevant and universal. The public is the public all over the realm, albeit the general public. Encouraged to purchase all kinds of insurance protection when the trust actually pays for all physical damages. Your national insurance, everyone, a national assurance. 1931 solvency. It's nice to have that. So there's a reference for that. Haven't stolen it, and we're on page 14. Look, it's got a page number. Proper professional. This is page 1 of the 4 that's here. There's a lot of text for you to get sunk in. We are international, so we have citations and troopers and officers and clerks and contracts and attorneys and bondages and summonses and lawsuits. It's a universal game, and we use different languages. I do not accept this offer to contracts, and I do not consent to these proceedings is written in the middle. Underneath, use blue ink for Admiralty or purple ink for Royalty. Admiralty is the court and Royalty represents your sovereignty. Either way is appropriate. Sign your signature. Well, there we go. That's not a signature. It's an autograph, an allograph. Some might say underneath in blue or purple ink and in front of a notary and under your signature type. They're using UCC 1-308. You use anything like that, get questioned upon it, then you need to quote that and know. I don't really go into that kind of the side. I'm aware it does work, and much like quantum, syntax, grammar, parse, whatever. There's lots more here about birth certificates, CUSIP numbers, bank, RUPSI, courts, debts, divorce, marriage contract, division of marital property, custody of children, utilizes leverage. You see, it's all really universal. Whoever reads this has got a lot to digest. Or I've thrown the works at this, but I've kept it relevant. There are documents out there 500 and something pages long, fam. All right, and they're talking technical, legal, babble, double Dutch. Sorry, not babble, legal. Legalese, double Dutch, which is like babble in itself. So that's the whatever there was, linkages, common law handbook for jurors, sheriffs, bailiffs and justices, what they've linked. You can buy on Amazon for about $5. Meet the straw man on whatever you want to know. UCC connection and how to free yourself from legal tyranny. Justice and judgment are the habitation of thy throne. Mercy and truth shall go before thy face. Look at that. Psalms 89:14. nationallibertyalliance.org is who gave us that. Nice little hello there. Ad Christi Pretension et Gloriam. Yeah, for the power and glory of Christ. Bless them. And then what have we got here? Don't worry, it's not got the personal details on, but I've done a template now of a revocable living trust, and if it was to be me, used a nice little bit of the quantum and parse syntax on the name there. If you wondered what that was, there it is, as I fully cognise and understand it, not being a master, self-scholar, dated, set law, grantor stuff. I'm just going to give you a quick little bit there. We're going to skim through. Okay, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to skim down all the pages because I'll show you that I'm on the same document, but I need to get through this. It's very big. I'll let you see how big it is. It's many pages. Beneficiaries, trustee, co-trustee, removal or incapacity, resignation of trustee. There's a lot in here, a lot of depth to it. So once you've got all of that, you go down to the appendix with the, we've got a self-approving affidavit, okay, and that's done as the city, town, state of, so you delete as applicable. All right, I've made it universal as I can. That's all good. Witnesses, and you've got notary acknowledgement. That can be done anyway. That doesn't necessarily need a notary public. You can do. We'll look at that later on witnesses. As God as my witness. There's one witness straight away. So good men. You can put your comments on what you think a notary witness. Sometimes it is beneficial. to go and do it one way, the high street way. I'm not going to get into that now, but most times you can do without a notary public. Remember, there is a public notary, and there are two, so the differences of them are, yes, different. We've got an attachment A under this living trust. The settlor grantor is conveyed, transferred or assigned to the trustee the following assets and property to be managed and held under the terms aforementioned, so you'd use them to stipulate that. Additional references and areas of applicable laws, not exhaustives. And you've got trust basics. You've got what is a trust. You've got why create a trust, bosh, bullet points, are nice in purple. Page 41 out of 100, all right. Provide benefits for charity. You may need more than one type of trust to accomplish all of your goals, okay? A trust can be expensive to set up and maintain, blah, 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 depending on the type of trust you use. Income generated by trust assets, and blah, blah. The trust must always act in the best interests of the beneficiaries. What does that remind me of now? In your fiduciary capacity, all right, trustee lacking specialised knowledge can hire professionals, all right, you can, that's how the world works. A living revocable trust, I've written what that is and done that again and paraphrased it. Need to change the text all to one. Living trusts, again, in the absence of a trust, a court, okay, could appoint a guardian. Listen up, fam. In the absence of a trust, a court could appoint a guardian to manage your property. Despite these benefits, living trusts have some drawbacks. So, it's great, but it's not so great. You need to really get your teeth sunk into it. Assets in a living trust are not protected from creditors. Whoop, whoop, dive, dive. Okay then. So which one? See what I mean? Irrevocable trusts, unlike a living trust, an irrevocable trust cannot be changed or dissolved once it has been created. You generally cannot remove assets, change beneficiaries, or rewrite any of the terms of the trust. Still, an irrevocable trust is a valuable estate planning tool. Okay, and then you've got assets transfer, property transferred, beneficiaries. As a bonus, property in an irrevocable trust may be protected from your creditors. There are many kinds of irrevocable trusts. Many have special provisions and are used for special purposes. Some irrevocable trusts hold life insurance policies or personal residences. You can even set up an irrevocable trust to generate income for you, as many have in the government. Testamentary trusts, that would be a last will and testament going along there, all right. Testator, 3 certainties of trusts, all right. This is the certainty, intention, objects, and subject matter. There's a lot of gods in there as well. Subject to the property put into trust must be identifiable. Jesus is the subject matter of God's trust, and we are given a Christian name, and we must subject our Christian name as a beneficiary to God's trust. One would surmise, or some might say, the property is the proper God-given Christian name. God placed, ordained the higher powers, government, to be in charge of his trust until Jesus Christ takes over, reign, sovereign, reign, just reign as the true Lord and Saviour. That's on my email footer you're seeing now, why I put that, everybody. I'm not saying that, but the system we're in, the true Lord and Saviour for Christians. The unbeliever, Gentile sin, registrants violate God's trust, and they become the third party unbeliever, private, who cannot share in God's public trust. Note, first party equals crown. Jesus Christ, God, Christians, Christos, the ones there, you get me, fam. The second party equals democracy, private, sharing equally in treason against God. Very, very, I'm not trying to scare you, but these are notes that I've made and I've kept for a reason. So then we've got an extended version of those 3 certainties of trusts. All right, we've got Isaiah, accord and satisfaction, the statement of birth. There's lots here about Pilate symbolically washes his hands. You know about the clean hands doctrine? Well, you do now. The clean hands doctrine, fam. Pilate symbolically washes his hands. The clean hands doctrine. Why? Because he found no fault with Jesus Christ. Despite this, he judged the innocent Christ guilty and had him executed on a cross of fiction. Shh. The government cannot execute or punish a Christian again because it would be it kind of like, if you're American, you know, you get me with the double jeopardy there, fam, and unlawful. Therefore, they get us to switch sides to make what we call the joinder with the Gentile, the unbelievers. And this gives them false jurisdiction if we are sin registrants on the side, which is treasonous to the natural order and to God, you know, the Almighty. So that goes into quite deep, all right? 2 of 6. I'm sorry about this. I didn't make it this way. It's just the way it is. We didn't start the fire. It's been burning since the earth's been turning. We got a comprehensive guide 101. Trust does have a reputation as mysterious legal instruments or financial frameworks favoured by the rich and used to avoid tax. Well, yes, they have been offshore tax havens and famous, you know, comedians and whatnot using them to escape, and you know, famous corporate entities avoiding millions and billions in tax. You've heard of the names, the coffee companies, other such companies as, yes, comedians like with the name Transport Imi Van, was it? Yeah, and he was taking the mick out of. So it's done, and it's all, you know, above board, they say. So they're no longer effective as a means of reducing tax liabilities, all right? That's been loopholed up. They had it open for a bit, they closed it off. Yeah. What is a trust? A breakdown again. It's an arrangement or a construct where party A transfers ownership of assets. We've gone into it. Legal speak comes into it. A, B, and C parties. Characteristics of trusts, assets, trust funds to protect and control family assets for astute inheritance planning and transfer of assets to heirs. Many, you know, bullet points there. I'm not gonna. You'll get it when I've finished it and it's done. So the roles of participating parties in a trust, set law creates and appoints and specifies, and it goes down to obligations there. Instruments and deeds, a valid deed, a spoken declarations and why they're so, you know, they have legal understanding and conflict and wrangling generally. Fiduciary duty refers to the obligation of the trustees to manage the trust in such a way that maximum potential gain always accrues to the trust beneficiaries. Would you Adam and Eve it, fam? Appointment, testamentary trust, testator, categories of trust, disbursement, revocability. You see, we're going down here. There's more. There's many things about it there. Residence, charitable purpose trusts. We're going through what's that there, top bit. How can I set up a trust fund? You've got all of that going down there. About our journey, I've been to a place called successors.ca. I'm sure you can get that, yeah? You look at this, that's a nice bit of law there about the English history law, sources by top legal scholars of English law. That this is taken from the front page, you see, and it's got the source there. So there's no theft, there's no anything. It's sharing and unbonding and working with against the English system of law, you know, that is code and not law, and finding out what real law is. Much like the sunshine when it gets chemtrailed over and the sun is hidden from our, you know, mince pies and skin because the chem is there, and the silver haze cuts out the sun, but the sun is still there and the righteousness, but you can't see that because, you know, it's hidden by the chem. So these codes have hidden the laws. English system of law and the monarchy established power and authority, enforcing that, freedoms and you know, natural law, arrangements and agreements, overview, land and territory based land, area of land, principles, private international law. From this gift of land, you've got vested owner and in possession of the trust. With regards to trust, it is an equitable obligation that binds the trustee to deal with the property owned by him, the trust property for the benefit of persons. You may not may enforce the obligation or furtherance of certain purposes, charitable purposes. In English law, lands are described as heredaments, and are further broken down into two categories: corporeal, corporal. You see where you get corporal from, and corporeal. So corpse and corpor and corporeal and hereditament. I'm sorry for the way that it is, but here dit ents, hereditaments, land and incorporeal hereditaments, everything annexed to those lands, yet not the lands themselves. So that goes like this. Watch, bosh. It's very good, it's very deep, it's very relevant. Please read Last Will and Testament, what it does. Again, testator now, there's all the details about a Last Will and Testament going down. There's a lot of links there as well with PDFs in that I've found that I've put on for you. Distinguishing, where are we? How to create an express trust, and you've got the basics here, and that goes like this, boom. Yeah. You've got some case law in with bits and bobs. Alright, page 72 out of 100. Trust is a formal arrangement, property is transferred to benefit. This is to do with carrying on from here, how to create. Okay, we haven't done a new section. Definitions, carrying on. What? Roads. Power of exclusion. So this is another document. There's a document here. Transfer weight. Yeah, I've got a stiff hand. We're finishing now. This is a deed here. This starts here. Starting of a deed of. So we had a breakdown of how to form, and then after we've got for the deed of the trust. Yeah, we've got the breakdown in the beginning. Sets out the terms and conditions upon the settlor name, the settlor of settlor address, settles that property set out in Schedule A, the property upon trustee name, the trustee being a company duly registered under the laws of certain type of, obviously if the trustee is being a company duly registered under the laws of city or state, county with registered numbers, and then that gives you a breakdown of all what that one is. Alright, distributions and what it does, and then there's the different ones, signature finished, and you've got Schedule A finishing that, Schedule C, then we got draft format of a private trustee trust formation document, and you've got all that going down there, some examples again. Alright, and then we've got a point. Alright, and that's the end of that. Witnesses. And then we've got another one, model trust deed for a private specific trust, and that goes through all of that. And then you got all of that going down there, going on and on and on. Page 100, finished. Bosh, to the comments. Didn't mess around, did I? I don't know what you're going to look at. You might have to look at me. Hello to the 22. Thank you for the 10 thumbs up. What we got lighting up here. What was that? Someone gave me fly on the wall, £10 donation. Thank you very much, my brother. Respect, fam. I love you lots and your presents. I haven't met Andy yet to get the gifts to him that he gave me, but thank you for them. Thank you for your energy. I'll look you in the eye when I say this. Respect and thank you. Much love. Fly. I'm scrolling on my way up, so excuse me while I get back up and see your comments. What in the world now? £20 donation. Thank you very much, my sister. I am very blessed, let me tell you. I am also in between lines, and I might actually need that at some point. Those that are stuck and between a rock and a hard place will get all the information, care and attention they duly deserve and need from us, the .com Trust family members and everything like that. I'm not here to be a busy fool, and poor is not pure, but there is lots of love, time and respect to make sure that nobody's left out in the cold. Nobody. This technology, I would like to set up a national trust, if you'd like, and hear me out, like the National Trust, where you'd go to get a trust, not the ones that hold land and all these other types of trusts and trustees as you come to know, but the National Trust, where you go to sort your trusts out. These numbers and CUSIPs and employment and tax and international banking, what are they? Where are they? You know, who are they? Exactly, Accrington Stanley. So there is a bit to do, and there's a lot to format, and there are tools coming out of which are from Roman times, and we don't know about trusts. We wasn't told about trusts. I've been overwhelmed with it. I encourage you all to, even when I give these publications and documents, to still research, and as it said in the text, go and get it checked. Use your own due diligence and double check old Speedy here, because I do sometimes look back and think, wow, I've made a boo-boo there. Santos, I spoke to him about it. I spoke to others. We all do it. All speakers do it. Those that go like a Gatling gun do it especially more. I am trying to work on that. I'm trying to go professional. We'll get the podcast sorted. We'll get professional interviews and things going back. We'll go back to how it was. But at the minute, time is plenty. Credits are low. And you're worried about protection, asset protection, and protecting others, how to do it, what to do. So for the sake of how it is, if you've got property and you're looking to protect it from creditors, no, that's the oh, we're all right, we'll go blue. Indy's on. If you've got assets and you're looking to protect it from creditors, then that's the issue there, isn't it? That there's a quick, urgent requirement. Why am I not focused? Where are we? Where's the camera? Is it? Sorry, fam. I don't know. But there's a requirement and there's a need and there's a worry. So if you've done your bit and paid everything, and you're not, in a way where you've got threats at the minute and there are no charges, and you've got property and you'd like to put them away, then why shouldn't you? It is your right. The only reason you haven't been told about this is because if you did this, then they wouldn't be able to get much. There wouldn't be much to pick from the carcasses and so forth. So it does require a bit of time and research, books, and look at it like this. If you prepare something and you have a document ready, you take it to somewhere on the high street and you give it them, it's a lot less for them to check that pre-prepared, commissioned, authorised document, trust, etc., than it is for them to start it from scratch. So as I've said in there is ideas for you to take from, of which I will skim to you later on. But I've spent 4 days doing that, and I'm not just going to give it away. And it's been done for somebody that wants to look at asset protection with no charges on property. So it's about time we pulled our fingers out and put things into cement. So that's what we've done there. Hello Quinn, Jerry. What have we got here? I'm still going up the top to the comments. Yes, thank you Dave. What in the world now? Albert. Yeah, sound. Alright, we get down here. Nappy Dutty. Yes, GJ, it does. What? Easy Andy, good to meet you at the seminar as well. And I like what you told me about the colloidal. That's made my year. Respect for telling me that, and well done for trying. Easy Jerry, he's a vision technician, window cleaner. Steve, easy now. You can't put everything into a trust, but you can put a car into a trust. Property, it would be classed as, and you would have to be the owner and be able to prove that you're the owner and so forth, and have the title to that property. And if you have the titles and the deeds to that, you put it in as a res, and that asset goes in, and then you no longer have such titles to, depending on what type of trust. A living trust, you have access to it, but you can assign somebody else it, so yes, you can protect it quite well, but it's not protected from creditors. So why would you put it in one of them? Well, you wouldn't. So you need to know, or you need to go to someone who's done the research, or you need to do the research yourself, JJ. But bang on. What are you saying? Check out Camtasia, brother. I was waiting on an email, Albert, about stuff, so I'm not putting it on you, it's on me. I will look at Camtasia though. Thank you, my man. Quinn, hello. Have you washed your hands? Is that about Pilot there, Pontius? Welcome back. What? Yes, Quinn, thank you. Hello, 22. Great visual info. Thank you, Lisa. That's what they said about the officer-agent interaction. We are still programming the key competence into the .com, so I've put the questions in. We just got to format it and get it automated. We have it standalone. It can be emailed, the quiz, to go to them slideshows. So Yes, feedback on that is good and positive. We had a guy who owned a Renault Islander for one point years ago. I like that, thank you, Jerry. This is big, man. We'll look forward to reading. Thank you. Yeah, it is big. It contains a living trust. It'll have a testamentary trust in there, which is your last will and testament, and it will also have 3 versions of private trust, which would serve, you know, all purposes. A will is a trust, but it's your last will and testament. You've got your living, revocable, and then you've got your express private. So between them 3 templates there, this is not for free. This is hard work and time and money. So go and check out how much it is on DuckDuckGo and Google for you to go and get probate lawyers if you want to avoid probate and get advice and have documents drafted up for you. It can go into the thousands of pounds, so there will be a donation required to the fam for this. If you are looking at protecting an asset, let's say of 100,000 to £500,000 to £1 million, and you're going to put it into one of these trust templates, then man wouldn't be too cheeky to ask for some kind of compensation for the 100 hours, 4 days, 96 hours, 100 pages. It's nearly an hour a page, and I can't get that time back. I will give it to those that need it. It is got to be copyrighted and under non-disclosure dealing, so those that get it, we can trust you with it, non-disclose, and then you can give us a nudge when you've benefited from this. You can then give the donation back to. Go and ask a solicitor, barrister, anybody that's in that gang to go and do something pro bono for you. Though you get nothing. So I recognise, and we've given away everything. Andy, Kevin, Josh, Sun and Moon, everybody, you, the Facebook talks, the admins, the publications, the chats and the videos, the seminars, it's there, and you can go and find it yourself. So if you want others to hold your hand, then I'm afraid you're going to have to help us to help you, because I'm looking at this moment in time, not sitting down with family in the private, tripping across wherever and helping you format and present these and looking at and duly informing you of your rights and the titles and things at hand here, whereas others will I've got to go and face the music, and there's a lot of pressure here. So I've had to look after the princess. I've had a flat tyre on the van. I've had the printer break down. I've had Lidl ring me and tell me I'm not good enough to work on the till and scan tins. Oh wow! So I'm feeling pretty chipper. I've got my head into the trust and all of this technology. We've had 2 good seminars, and now we are ready to look at, if you want to asset protect, we need to build up the trust fund. We need benefactors. We need somebody who can help us to help others that are less fortunate. If we had a pot there, even our equitable, what would we call it, mineral and energy rights of this realm given to us by the Almighty Creator there, then we could do that now. But unfortunately, we haven't and we can't. So it pains me. And nobody's come along that said, hey up, you guys could do with a bit of a push, I'll give you an helping hand. So until we get that, we have to find a way to build it up. So those that can donate and have assets to protect and that want to talk to us further, then you'd find us on the .com and you'd talk to us, and you'd get this then in that correct avenue. This is just a preview of a self-initiate or layman's introduction to trust, and I realised I was going to come and see you every morning and take questions and answers live and direct about how it is and what you're feeling. So that may be done next week. I'm getting on the case. I'll be live again, properly presented, and there's much to be doing. So what other comments have we got? I'm staying in the blue room. I'm not moving. If you have respect for persons, you do so in sin, and are convinced of the law as transgressors. The material law has no place in the presence of God. Recognise that. That'll be I'm here. Look, there he goes. Yes, I concur. Well said, beautifully, eloquently, rolls off the tongue. I thought as well, not really. I'm here. I've not spoke to you all week. You've not spoke to me. It's been a bit quiet. It's been a bit somber. Things have been breaking. Doom and gloom. No, not really. Just there's a change, a bit of a change. Everything happens for a reason. Alright there, what you're saying. Thanks for the preview of your purview. Alright Lisa, you're welcome. Smash it, yes, I'm a dude, we spoke today. Oh wow. Yes. You are, you did indeed. I could even say, but I won't. I'll keep that private. Bless. What? I get mixed up. There's a lot of you. There's one of me. It's easily done when you got your head in trust. Gender to tube scribes easily gets overlooked, I'm afraid. I'm sorry for that. An icon does help though, like Fly's got his little, 11 o'clock, whatever, and I can see him and I know, straight away, even though I can't really see him. You're welcome, Molly. Thank you to you, sister. Much love. We are progressing. This will be out open source in about 6 months, a year. It will be plastered everywhere, but for the time being, it has to be outlaid in the correct way from me, by me, and others that will be given it and look at it and give it out to those that will need it. So it can be done. We can balance it all. Does this lay claim to the life in the trust, i.e. all are considered family? Yeah, well, we are tribes, aren't we? We're all a tribe. Blood, rhesus negative, rhesus positive. There's 2 tribes on this planet. Yeah. 2 tribes go to war. Go to war, go to war. When 2 tribes go to war. I told you back then. I remember, lad. Said that it is vital indeed. He's lost but proved himself to me on a personal level when I needed it. Always have his back. Oh, respect, Fly. Thank you for that, brother. I'm here for anybody. And if I have words that can help soothe, explain, lighten, and whatnot, then why wouldn't I? I can't do it to everybody. It isn't practical, but those that get through, that persevere, that wait, that are genuine, that don't offend and swear and cut me down and threaten me because, I haven't responded within 3 hours and you've sent me 55 emails and, they've been going on now for, 7 hours and you've had no response, and by the time I get to them, which is 4 days later maybe, there are, 180 emails and all these crazy, I'm like, wow. So, there's a way and a means, and Fly, we got lucky, I suppose, and we ended up connecting, and I honour that. I'm a dad. I got into this, don't forget, through high courts and writs, and mums getting default position of assets, sons and daughters, and then dads having to do what we do. So I've got ultimate respect for families, offspring, assets. That's why we went to Alderhay when we was asked to by the alleged family there. Speaking of family, so we do what we can, and you've seen us do that, and we consider all. We say bless, no stress. Oh yes. Yes, and I'm going to put a package together for those that aren't with sphourspro.com and they don't know us and they don't know who we are. What I'd like to do is say there would be something put together for coming into the family trust, and I'll get that to everybody. The ones that are already in the .com and with us will be considered for premium VIP thank yous and bestowing and privileged information first. Facebook will be last. YouTube, I have to be careful, as you are aware, we all do. But yes, we're very, very grateful for such brothers, that have come out there and taken the time, been shot down, making mistakes, criticised, because if you hadn't, and they hadn't have done that, we wouldn't be able to gauge what's good and what's bad, what's valid, what isn't, what's critical, what's not critical. And that goes in across a lot of areas, not just court appearances and legal consultations and controversies and liabilities and debts and taxes and, etc. It goes to everybody, even the little ones, that stand up for whatever and, against bullies in the playground. We're in a strong position, and those that we give thanks for. you know, that have one, made a positive dent and give us, you know, where we are, and two, those that have not made a positive dent but showed us not what to do, we give equal thanks for. So trust technology, new trust technology from the Romans, work that out. That's is it Alistair Hudson or Christian Walters, somebody like that's got a book, New Trust Technology. I'm like, well, it's ancient, so thank you all. We are just doing our job because we've had enough and the property has run out. So much love to you, scribes. I have missed you. I will get back to regular casts. I haven't taken offence, Quinn. I never take offence, brother. I don't do that. I don't. I used to. I am. I'm better flowing. You're seeing where life and the corporate split me. Please don't take. Oh, no. Oh God, just having a chat, fam. I'm quite relaxed given the week I've had. I'm very positive about a 100-page, I wouldn't say idiot's guide, I'd say self-initiating layman's guide. And it's not exhaustive and it's not exclusive, but when you realise how this principality of law works and what realm it's in and whom you are, then I think you're going to love it. It's not to be coveted, and it's about time Babylon knew what go on, yeah. So there are others doing it, and you can go to any site and you can find any other channel, and you can, you know. But I thank you for sticking with. I know it's not been easy. I've made many a mistake, many an error, many a faux pas. But know this: those of us that speak fast and just go into it and feel and love and wear that heart, we're downloading fast and we're speaking fast. You know, you never really find somebody who speaks fast or a lot, we'll say a lot, a chatterbox that's really, you know, lower IQ. The ones that speak want to chat, they want to communicate because they're turning the cogs and they're thinking, and there's so much writing and texting you can do. You know, we like to, you know, Andy's one, he's coming to his own now, and he's got a lot, you know, I don't know what pathway he's going to take, that's his home to choose, and I'm just so emotional about the future with, you know, others and you getting strong, how you're seeing things, the feedback, you know, being how it is and the reception there of things and the strength and losing the fear. It's just enough love, it really is. It's a good time, it's a good feeling, and it's good people and good results. Safety is you know, is number one at work, but safety is number 99 in the commercial realm. You know, it's profits and consumption first, and debts and liabilities, and duties and obligations, and then you know, then you can look at yourself. So I'll work with you, and you'll work with me as we've continued to do. What? Yes. What? Mistakes, Quinn. It's incredible. It really is. But I don't know if I would say that being hyper and on the spectrum of, if it is, I'm not labelling myself, but to explain it, to quantify my characteristics in reality compared to other able-bodied, hyper, some kind of dyslexic, and you know, doesn't think, takes a long time to learn from his mistakes, and has a lot of emotion, but is also very blind in the simplistic of ways. You know, I'm happy with where we are, and the mistakes I've made have made me better. The attacks and the embarrassments, much like when you're a DJ, and if ever it jumped and you got a woolly sock. That was a nightmare back in the day. If you had a woolly sock and you was on a Technics, and even if you had the 5p on, yeah, the 1p was a bit too much for me. I didn't like the 1p. I'm a bit 5p, arm balance back just where, yeah, and he jumped over. That was embarrassing, but you just brush it off. You know, you fall down, you get kicked. You know, you don't want to get back up, but you get back up eventually, and that's what makes us, you know, very strong. It gives you character. You know, it's at first very hard, but after a bit, once the ego's gone, the embarrassment and mistakes, you know, they drop off too. It's you know, so thank you, and it's not needed, and you know, I'm proud of where I am and where some of you are. A mistake is an honest attempt. Yes, it is. I'm here. Yeah. Nice one. We've missed this, haven't we? 25 on a I don't know what night we're on, I don't even know. I believe it's Friday, is it? Number 11, yes, did I say? Nice one, Quinn. Shoot the DJ for playing Kylie Minogue. You can't shoot a DJ. What are you, JJ? Who are you? Shoot the DJ, my fellow DJ. I don't know who you are, mate. I really don't. Mistakes are art lessons, yes, Lisa. Thank you. What? Like mushrooms, we grow in the dark. Yes, I. Some of us glow, you know. I was going to say thank you, I'm going. Alright, that's your update. I know some of you have missed me. I've had some emails saying, where are you? Are you okay? How's the princess? How's the queen? Thank you very much. Bless you all. I think I've responded to everybody by tea time today, so all is good. Had some good Skype chats. And now, yeah, I'm getting ready to do what needs doing. We'll say peace and love. I'll be back soon. Ciao, Bello. I love you, scribes. Thank you for the super chat. Much love, you're too kind. Thank you for the donations. How dare you, JJ? Alright, much love. And we've got so much to do. I'll be back in the daytime. Alright, non-indigo. King light standing. Much love. Say your goodbyes. We're going. Turn this off. That's why it's indie, look, because that had gone, because the laptop's gone and the projector's up there. Look at this, I'll just show you. This is engineering for you. Do you know what I mean? I'm wasted. Little turn me down and I'm making stuff like that. Look at that. It's drying clothes and doing projecting at the same time. Look at that. Look, it's just genius, isn't it, eh? Shh, you didn't see that. Anne-Marie's going to kill me for showing the house in the state that it's in. I've messed it up. It isn't Anne-Marie. It's her house and I've done it. It's not Anne-Marie's mess. That was the studio. Well, that was a budget, wasn't it? Back to the studio. Bonjour, ciao, bello, much love and light to you, Quinn, Lisa, Watt, I'm here, Fly. Who else do we have? Jerry. I think I said Lisa already, haven't I? Cuddly Toy, Microwave, John, Jesus, Andy, Greg's, I think there was. I'm scrolling now because I've run out. I'm scrolling fast. We've said everybody, yeah. Nice one. We got Jerry, yes. I said some of you twice. It's not because I love you more. It's just I'm special. Much love. Bye. See you soon.